All right, everybody, we're going live. It's about 12:05 p.m. on June 18th. Looking forward to see everyone kind of coming in here. And as you do, go ahead and let me know. If you're viewing this after like 1 o'clock p.m. on June 18th, obviously we're not live. Um, but you'll get the recorded version. So we need to talk about what's going on. But before we do, I'm going to let some people get online here and get in on this because this is important. We got to talk about some stuff because Doge is experiencing some tough situation right now. And I've had some communication with some people, and you know, there's some worry around, and it's just a good thing to kind of plug in and connect to kind of get rid of the fear here because there's some things going on, and we need to talk about why and what you should do. So if anyone's here, let me know. Just leave a comment in the chat area. I'll know you're here, and then we'll get started. I'll share with you exactly what I think is going on. We'll take a look at these charts. I'll take a look at a news piece and go from there. All right. Anybody in? Let's see, looking at the live streaming. No. All right. Hey, good morning. Well, good afternoon now, unless you're over on the West Coast or somewhere else besides the U.S. Riding with the animal. Over here in New York, just past 12. Good to have you in. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. So for all of the live playback, so we're going live right now. It seems like 12 o'clock. You know, a lot of people are probably out there. I just got done mowing the lawn, so I could see how many people might not be available to pop on right now. But I knew I needed to kind of get in here today because I know a lot of people are watching what is going on with Dogecoin and the other crypto assets that are out there. And you're thinking the same thing. You're like, what is happening? What's going on? Why is this going on? And so it's good to plug in to kind of connect with other people and see that they're seeing the same thing you are and what you should do, how you should respond to this. So I'm going to talk about why I think this is going on, what's happening, and what you should do. And of course, you should do whatever you want to do. I will tell you what I'm going to do, and then you could take it from there. So taking a look at Dogecoin, obviously we are down. Actually, we're down now to 29 cents. So that's we were a little lower than that. We were at 20. Well, I think like 28.6. So we're up a little bit. We kind of saw a little uptick here. Looking at the rest of the crypto assets here, you can see this is Ethereum. Ethereum is down, and you can see Bitcoin. Bitcoin's down. Now, interestingly enough, look at Bitcoin in the last 20 minutes, no uptick. Look at Ethereum in the last 20 minutes, no uptick. Look at Dogecoin, pretty big pump in here. Now, based off of what I see from Ethereum and Bitcoin, I will think that this is going to do exactly what it's showing it's going to do right now. It's going to draw right back down. But this is some person who decided to invest big time in Dogecoin while it was pretty down. So the question is, as we're watching this, what should we do? What's going on? Why is this happening? Well, first off, it all depends on what kind of investor you are. If you're a short-term investor, if you were trying to get into Dogecoin to make a quick buck, then this is very frustrating and disheartening because it's you want to see it go up. And if I go to the 6-month chart, there's a lot of people who got involved up in these spikes, right? Everything above maybe 40 cents, they got involved, and they were maybe hoping it would just go up and go to $1, and it can be disheartening. Now, if you're a long-term investor, this shouldn't worry you at all. Matter of fact, if I go to the 1 year, okay, Take a look at what happened. You know, Dogecoin was at 0.002 for the longest time. And then it started to pick up, and then it stayed at 0.04 to 0.06 for like couple months, few months between February and April. And then it picked up. So the thing is, look at what happened. And if you guys can't see something, let me know. Like if my face is blocking it, I could try to move the chat. I could try to move my face. I could see, yeah, my face looks like it's blocking it a little bit. Let's see. Let's move my face over here. There we go. All right, that's better. So taking a look at the chart, right? Dogecoin went way up here back in January. It went, I mean, it quintupled in price, and then it went down, and then it went down. Then it went way up again, and then it went down, and it went down, and then it kind of stayed in this spot. The same thing could be happening to us right now. We're going up, then we went down, then we went up, and we went down, and we went down. We could be basically right in this area in a new trend. This line could continue on for months and months. It could even be a year where it'll continue on. But eventually, as we have seen in the past with all crypto assets, they do this and then they go up. They do this for a while, then they go up. Then they go up, then they do this for a while, then they go up. What I don't think is going to happen is I don't think Bitcoin's going to drop back down to like 10 cents or something like that. It's possible that it could go lower than it is now. You know, I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that. But I think it's going to go sideways for a while, and then I think it's going to pump back up. So the question becomes, why is this happening? Why aren't we just going up? I think this has a lot to do with it. So once again, I'm going to move my face over this side. And this was an article that just came out today. Dogecoin co-creator warns talking about loans to buy volatile speculative assets is absolutely bonkers. I think what's going on is a number of things. Number one, the crypto asset market is down right now. Even with all of the good news we've seen, the fact that you have El Salvador, a country of the world, adopting by legal vote Bitcoin as tender to be accepted in their country. And you know, you have the Dogecoin Coinbase listing. You have so much popularity going on. Even with all of that, the market is, this market, and I say market, I mean the crypto asset market is struggling mightily right now, even with all this good news. So it just tells me that we are in a down market. We're in a bear trend right now. Bitcoin probably shouldn't be at 36,000 right now. Bitcoin should probably be at 28,000 right now, but it's at 36,000 because of all the good news that's come out. Ethereum probably shouldn't be at 2,200 right now. It should probably be lower, probably be at 1,800, 1,700. And the same with Dogecoin. Dogecoin probably shouldn't be 29 cents right now. It should probably be 22 or 21 cents right now. But the news has been so good that it's sort of offset this bearish cycle slightly. The problem is, even though we're in a bearish market, we have a lot of people who are investing right now and who have invested in the last 3 months who are speculative. They're speculating. They're taking money they shouldn't take and they're throwing it into this. I would assume some people are taking out loans to do this. I would highly suggest to you to never take out a loan to do this. And anyone who's doing that is not looking for a long-term hold. If somebody's taking out a loan, they're thinking, I'm going to double my money in a couple of months. That's what they're hoping. They want to pump in $50,000 and then they want it to jump up 20, 30, 40, 50%. And they want to get a quick 20 grand. You know what I mean? That's why somebody would take out a loan to do this. They feel like it's a safe bet. When you have people who do that, the results you get is sometimes what we're seeing today. People just taking their losses and getting out. Eventually, though, this is going to end. The bear market's going to end. The people who got in and shouldn't have is going to end. The short sellers it's going to end. Paper hands is going to end. And this is going to completely consolidate out. It could take months. Could take a year. We don't really know, but it will eventually end because we've seen this precedent set over and over and over again. And we do know that digital currency is the future of currency. It's just what's going to happen. You can fight against it or not. There's a couple more things I want to talk about. I'm just going to go to the chat quickly here because I want to make sure that I address any questions that anyone's having, because there is something else that I want to talk about that I think a lot of people who analyze Dogecoin and crypto assets, they don't talk about it correctly. And it's a little frustrating to me because we need to, in some ways, we need to grow up a little bit. The crypto asset analyzers, or we're not as mature as a lot of other individuals out there. And because of that, we can be a little too silly with certain things, although Dogecoin should be silly, but there's certain things that aren't. So there's something I want to share with you. You could tell. Voice sounds only on the left speaker. Oh, okay. I don't know why. I don't know why it's only on left speaker. I try to be positive, but it's really hard to think that Doge. Yeah. Yep, I agree. Okay, so I don't see any questions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tell you where I think we're falling off a little bit. One of the problems that we're having with the crypto asset market right now is there is simply way too many coins getting into the game right now. And it's becoming an issue. If you are on Twitter or if you follow any people who are YouTubers, they'll show them to you. Right now, there's like 100 copycats of Doge. It's sick when you see how many there are. And the way that a lot of these people look at it is yeah, it's fine. The more, the better. That's not entirely true, because what happens at a certain point is it becomes ridiculous. Now, you need competition. Competition is good, but with competition, there should come a cost. And the problem is that these individuals who are making these coins, there is no cost in what they're doing. If they can code, they can make a coin. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people who are going to college, learning how to code and making a coin. And we're seeing thousands and tens of thousands and eventually hundreds of thousands of these popping up. And what happens is it starts to create these scams. It starts to create these pyramid schemes. It creates confusion amongst people. It creates speculation. People begin to go, oh, this new coin is out. It's only 0.0000007 cents. Let me buy that because, man, if it becomes 0.0006 cents one day, I'll be a billionaire. We're seeing tens of thousands of these coins popping out. That is not good for the crypto asset community. And I don't see enough people saying, you know what? This somehow has to change, because there is no cost to this. For example, let me bring up something that might make sense in the modern day world. Let's say video games, right? There's a few consoles out there, right? You have your Nintendo, you have your PlayStation, you have your Xbox. You have your Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. Those are the three big players in the console system, right? That's good. We want that. That's competition. Competition breeds better product. But we don't have 20,000 of them. You know what I mean? You don't have 20,000. You have three. And you don't have 20,000 companies trying to do it either, because there's too much of a cost, meaning you're going to lose your shirt if you do it. And if you're going to do it, you better put your money where your mouth is, and you better put your time and your sweat and your tears where your mouth is, because if you screw up, you're going to lose everything. We don't face that same thing in the crypto asset market. Anyone who goes to college and knows how to code can create a coin. Then they can spread things around Twitter. By the way, just so you know, on my feed, like when I do a video, there's comments all the time that are bots. I have to erase them all the time. And these bots go out and they push these weird investors. They push these weird coins out. And what happens is not only do you have tens of thousands of new coins created, but then you have these bots that come out and push them out to people. It's just creating mass confusion. People don't know where to invest. We want competition, but we also want some sort of organization. So what I'm saying to you is we need to grow up. As a crypto asset community, we need to grow up, and things need to become a little bit more organized. If we want to be the currency of the future, If you want digital currency to be in the future, you have to organize it a little bit. It cannot be a free for all. It can't be a jungle out there. And right now it's becoming a jungle. It's becoming a little ridiculous, and it's causing confusion and problems, and people don't know where to invest or what to invest in. Now, my hope is as things mature that a few will rise to the top and they will become the mainstays. I believe Doge will be a part of it. I believe Ethereum will be a part of it. I think Bitcoin will be a part of it. I think blockchain supporters will be a part of it, like Polygon. I think Cardano will probably be a part of it. Cardano gets shorted quite a lot, though. I think that there's going to be a mix, but this market is facing problems that other normal markets don't face. And we need people who analyze this to stop being okay with 100,000 coins being created, because it doesn't look good, and it doesn't breed healthy competition. If I get, so you have a question, if I get Social Security income and do this, can it affect my Social Security income checks? Probably not. I mean, you would have to make, as far as how you get Social Security and the income requirements, you even if you made $1 million doing Dogecoin, unless you actually take it out and put it into U.S. currency, it's not even considered capital gains until you do that. So, I don't think so. I think you'd be fine. I don't think you could possibly mess up your Social Security income. But that's, if you start making some big time money, right? If you put Social Security income into this and all of a sudden you start making some big time money, that's a question that you would definitely want to address to somebody, even if you have to pay them $100, you know what I mean? $200, because I don't know your specific situation. People receive Social Security income for all kinds of reasons. But it would be very difficult for it to affect it unless you're talking about something crazy. Currently, there's too much bad news for Bitcoin, and many people think Dogecoin is a joke coin. I believe Dogecoin will increase in price. Now is the chance. Yeah, so here's the thing. I think we're just in a bear market. That's what I think. I think we're in a bear market. I think we're in a down market. I think that actually Dogecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin should be lower than they are, but they've been pumped up primarily by this populist movement that's gone on. And a lot of what the problem with populist movement is it's good only as long as those people stay in. Eventually, you get so many people who got in who really never had any business being in this, weren't in it for the long term, and now they're seeing it and they're just, they're jumping ship. For me, I'm in Dogecoin for the long term. I remember, let me go to the 1 year chart here. I remember I got into Dogecoin, man, way before 2020. I'd have to go to the 5 year chart. I got into Dogecoin maybe around 2018, maybe before that. I'm not really sure. And I put in like $25, $50, and I ended up getting out, right? And it was dumb. I mean, I would have had to keep my $25, $50 in there for 2 or 3 years to really see anything. Going to the 2 year chart, I know my face is probably blocking this chart, so let me move myself over here. Then I got into Doge. Let me go to the year marker. I got into Doge again when it was about 5 or 6 cents, right in this area. And right around February, right? Actually, no, it was probably up a little bit more. It was probably right here. Yeah, the beginning of February. Me and a coworker got into it at the same time. And all of a sudden it went up. It bumped up. Like from this February 2nd to this February 7th, it bumped up and was like, oh, this is cool. Doge is going up. This is awesome. And then it went right back down. And I know this doesn't look like a big bump, but when you're investing, this is like sort of disheartening. It went right back down. And then me and my coworker are like, all right, what are we doing? Now it's like 5 cents again, 4 cents. And he ended up getting out. He ended up saying, all right, I'm done with this. It's ridiculous. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay in because what's the worst that can happen? So I stayed in. It didn't really do anything for months. And then all of a sudden, the middle of April hit And this happened right here, right? It jumped up, to 30 cents in some insane short amount of time. Okay. And he was no longer in it. He missed out on this complete thing right here because he jumped ship. And I didn't know what to do either. I thought, okay, this is crazy. It's going up way high. So I didn't sell, and then it went way back down. And then this jump up happened. And so now the amount of money that I was seeing in the investment, and by the way, I was buying throughout. When this was happening, I bought, and then, I think I might have bought, and it kept going up. And then it got, it's getting crazy. So I remember I sold out here. It was a mistake. My coworker sold out here. It was a mistake. I think it's a mistake. I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's a mistake. I have to say, I think that we're in a bear market, and I think that people are selling out because they're scared. That's what's going on. But if you're in it for the long term, I'm going to move my face again. You're going to be okay. Like even what we're seeing right now, right? Look at the live of Doge, right? It went up. Now it's back up. It's at 0.29 cents. Okay. So we're going to make it back up to 30 cents again? Probably. Could it go back down? Maybe. But just don't be scared. Is Ethereum doing the same thing? A little bit. Is Bitcoin? A little bit. Doge is definitely reacting better right now than the two of them. So someone's interested in Doge. Now it's up even more, right? 2.935. So I would suggest if this is very worrying to you, to not look at Doge for 3 years. Just shut it off. Invest what you can right now, and then just shut it off for 3 years. Stop watching Dogecast. Stop watching According to Vin. Stop watching all the other people, and don't even look at it. Just don't even look at it. Don't even look at the news. Don't go to Twitter. Don't go anywhere. Don't go to Twitter. Come back in 3 years, and then it'll be like a big Christmas present that you'll open up. If you need to do that, I would suggest do that. And then you'll never be worried about it. It'll be like, what's that experiment that they did? What's his name's cat? Isn't there like a cat experiment? I know somebody out there knows what it's called. What's the cat experiment where the cat is in the box and the cat can be both dead and alive at the same time? Does anyone out there know? Nobody. We got 41 viewers on right now. Somebody knows. All right, nobody knows. Anyway, there was an experiment that was done where they put a living cat in a box, right? I don't know if this was actually really done, but it was hypothesized. And within the box, there was a randomized timer that released poison. And when the cat was in the box, because there was no knowledge of when the poison would go off and kill the cat, you could both look at the cat as being alive and dead at the same time. So there's sort of this experiment that was done. If you don't look at your Dogecoin, if you're a long-term investor and you can't deal with these daily craziness, just don't look at it anymore. And in 3 years, you'll never have had stress at all. And when you look at it in 3 years, it's not going to be 29 cents. It's not going to be 4 cents either. But if it's 4 cents, at least you didn't stress for the 3 years. You just stressed after the 3 years, But it's not going to be 4 cents. It's going to be, it's going to be up there. So, man, I wish I knew what the cat experiment was. Anyway, any other questions? No other questions, guys. So this is what's going on. It's a bear market. This could last for a while. It could last for a few months. I wouldn't, there's a lot of people out there talking about when they think this is going to correct. I kind of, Schrodinger, that's what it is. Thank you, Scott. It's Schrodinger's cat, right? So yeah, if you don't look at your Dogecoin, it's both doing well and bad at the same time. Just stop looking at it. 5 to 6 years is a good plan. It is a good plan. I have to tell you, and this is one of the reasons why I don't like all the copycatters out there. Guys, I don't know if you agree with me. I think it's a bad thing that we have 25,000 new coins. It's just, I get that there's all these different coins for all these different things, but it doesn't lend to healthy competition. We need people to feel like this is a legitimate thing. If they don't feel like there's legitimacy here, then there's just going to be confusion. And confusion is not good. I want there to be more coins. I want some of these to do well, but I don't want there to be 100 Doge copycats. This doesn't make sense. It's stupid at a certain point. And when the news starts reporting that there's 100 Doge copycats, people look at it and they go, you guys know, like there's Shib killer, Doge going up, Doge man, Doge crypto guy, Doge Musk, Shib Musk, Shib Elon. I mean, I'm not joking with you. These coins, like, they basically exist with these names. It's insane. So at one point we do have a future market here. This is the future. But at the same time, we're like so immature with this market. So I'm not saying that I necessarily want more regulation, but man, there's got to kind of be something. Unless somehow in a few years, a few of them just rise to the top and the rest of them are no longer looked at as legitimate. Basically, we go through a phase where we have all of these college people creating these coins, and then this is just a phase, and then the phase ends because they realize it ultimately is not going to work. But right now it's just becoming scamish. That's what it's becoming. It's like a scam. It's like a new coin comes out that's 1/1,000,000th of a penny to buy into, and people push it because they're trying to scam people. This is not good for the community. You know, we shouldn't have people thinking that this is a scam. And with so many coins coming out, that's what ends up happening. And so I think that's, that confusion could be a problem. Looking at the chart here, looking good. Doge, man, 0.294. Somebody would have been upset if they sold way down here, right? So it's kind of coming back up, which is nice. Again, you always want to look at the other coins. Are they performing the same? Here's Ethereum coming up a little bit. And here's Bitcoin coming up a little bit. But Doge is definitely performing better here. So, again, I'm not sure what this is. This is people who are investing only in Doge. Sometimes you'll see the markets interact very similarly because a lot of investments are tied up in multiple different coins at the same time. So when someone sells, a lot of times it affects all the coins. Sometimes you see some of these responding separate. Usually that's a news-related issue or something. So right now we're seeing investment being done in Doge, and I don't know what this is. I have to kind of think this is just regular people that are investing in it, like people who are just super excited about Doge. But I don't know. I mean, Ethereum and Bitcoin are kind of responding up a little bit. So anyway, so when is this all going to end? I'm seeing a lot of people who are analysts on this saying that they believe that the summer is going to be tough. The summer might be a very horizontal looking chart. Maybe we're 29, 30, 31, 28, 29, 30, 31. And then when fall comes back in, it'll work itself out. I could see that. That gives us 2 or 3 months of this. Can you do this for 2 or 3 months? That's possible. Could it be longer than this? Sure. But no matter what it is, you should be a long-term investor. 100%. If you buy at one time, it's easier to reach the year plus 1 day needed to sell at the lowest long-term capital gains rate. If you buy at one time, so if you're saying you did all of your purchasing at once, it's easier to reach the year plus 1 day needed to sell at the lowest long-term capital gains rate. That's, there's a lot in that statement there. I think, if you're talking about buying at once, yeah. So, I mean, for me, I've bought, I didn't buy all at once. I kind of got lucky in the sense that I bought a ton of this at like 6 cents and 11 cents and 15 cents. So, my early purchases haven't even been touched by what's going on in the market now. So it does make it a little easier for me to stay strong on this. I will admit that. But I did purchase it if I go to the 1 month chart, where were we at? I purchased I purchased at like 38 cents somewhere. and then I purchased at like, I just purchased again at 29 cents. So, I'm putting some purchases in that are above, that I've actually lost on. But I'm trying to purchase as it's going down the best that I can. All right, so where are we? Looking at the live chart. Moving up, right? Moving up. 29 cents now. I think there's going to try to be a push to get it to 30 cents. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that the Doge community and whoever's investing in this now is going to try to push it to 30 cents. But again, this is the thing. If you weren't watching this all day long, say you went to like a nice barbecue, you didn't turn your phone on, right? You didn't see any of this. And then all of a sudden you looked at it again at, I don't know, 8 o'clock and it's back up here. You're like, wow, Doge really went down and then back up again, So hopefully it corrects up there. Ethereum we're seeing come back up. Bitcoin's coming back up. So I don't know. We'll see. What if it dips back down though? What if it goes to 28 cents? What if it goes to 27 cents? These are questions you have to ask yourself. What if it goes to 25 cents or 24 cents? Is that when you jump ship? For me, it would be tough for me to get out of this. It would be tough. I'm not saying I'd go down with the ship, but I might go down with the ship. If the ship, I don't think this ship is going down, by the way. But if it was going to go down, I think I might go down with the ship. The lowest I could possibly see it, and I said this in my very first video, is 17 cents. We haven't even approached that in the year. The yearly mark for me was 17 cents to $3. So I still think we can hit $3 in a year, because I don't think we've seen the next massive move up yet. Of course, obviously. But if it went down to 17 cents, then I'd start to be like, all right, what am I going to do? But if it was at 17 cents, I'm not selling. So I'm probably going down with the ship. That's just me. But if it hits 24 cents for you, I wouldn't jump ship when it's going down. If you want to really jump ship, wait until it hits 31 cents again, then jump. I mean, I wouldn't jump at all. But, to get out at these lower levels, you know how many people got out down here? Just regular people. They just sold. They were just like, I got to sell. And now it's back up here. And now what are they doing? Now they're like, should have just be a long-term investor. Be a long-term investor. He was referring to your question. Oh, okay. Is a crypto wallet necessary? A crypto wallet is not necessary, but it is highly, highly beneficial. So the idea behind a crypto wallet is that you can take your coin and you can easily, you can securely hold your coin, right? So one of the issues, especially early on with cryptocurrencies, and a lot of problems are being figured out, is that coins could be taken, coins can be stolen, just like anything. There's people who hack banks, they take information. Maybe they try to take money, financial stuff. There's people who try to hack into bank accounts, and people try to steal wallets, actual physical wallets. Well, digital coins can be stolen. So what had to happen is they need to make a secure place to store your coins. So a wallet is a secure place to store those coins. It's also a secure place to make transactions. So if you want to exchange coins, that's a secure place to have your coins for any kinds of exchanges you want to do. You can exchange it for another coin if you want, or you can exchange it for different currency if you want. So is a crypto wallet necessary? It's not necessary for investment, but it is necessary if you want to securely keep digital coins in a place where you can use them for purchases and exchanges. So in the long term, yes, you need them, but it's not necessary for investment. Robinhood, if you're on Robinhood, doesn't have a crypto wallet yet, but they will very shortly. If you're on Coinbase, of course, they do. So that's why the crypto wallet becomes important. Yeah, just meant to hold an investment a year. Yeah, you definitely. Oh, yeah. It does lower your taxes. That is true. Although Biden is trying to get rid of some of that stuff, which to me, I don't think he can, because I think he doesn't. If he tries to get rid of it, he doesn't fully understand the fact that people have tax benefits for holding their investments. And that stops short selling, because if you don't give tax benefits for holding your investments, people are going to short sell all over the place. And that's terrible for business. You want to really give people a big break in their taxes if they hold something for a long time. And so, yeah, right now that's the case. But there's been some talk of changing that, which is a bad idea. There's been reported that the U.S. government is not going to recognize crypto as currency and going to end up being worthless. On the radio this morning. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Even if the United States didn't recognize cryptocurrency, that wouldn't make it worthless. The United States doesn't have to recognize it at all. It's not really up to the United States. By the way, the United States is working on their own cryptocurrency right now. That's what the United States is doing. So in one end, the United States is like, oh, cryptocurrencies, digital coin. That's we're not recognizing that. Oh, by the way, we're going to create our own. Okay, that's interesting. Why are you doing that? Oh, because you just want money? Yeah, our government wants money. They want taxes. They want to control things. Crypto, they can't control. That's why China's banned it. China has banned cryptocurrencies because they can't control it. China wants to control it. Their government wants to control it. And if they can't control it, they're going to ban it. And you know what China's doing? They're working on making their own cryptocurrency. So in one end, they're saying it's not legitimate. In the other end, they're making their own. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think people are going to trust a cryptocurrency from a centralized government. I just don't think they're going to trust it, because the whole point of it is that it's not centralized, it's not regulated. It's going to be susceptible to the same inflationary risks as the currency which they print off by the trillions every single year. Oh, Kraken and Gemini. Yeah, I mean, invest in different stuff. That's good. Having it all over the place. But, at the end of the day, I don't have any issue with Kraken or Gemini. I don't have any issue with a lot of the coins that are out there. I do have an issue with like 27,000 coins being out there. And if you look at a future projection of it, in a year we could have 100,000 coins. That's just, it doesn't bode well for any arena. It doesn't bode well. It could be anything. It could be any community. You can't have 100,000 of something and it seem legitimate. You need to have a few that really rise to the top, and then you need to have a few other ones that are like, secondary, and maybe a few other ones that are tertiary, but not 25,000, not 100,000. The amount of coins that are coming out right now, just confusing, way too confusing. So again, what's going on here? We're in a bear market. We're in a down market. It's just the way it is. Dogecoin should probably even be lower than this. Ethereum should probably be lower, and Bitcoin should be lower, but they're not. They're holding strong because of a populist movement right now and a bunch of good news that has come out. And, you're having fatigue. There are people who are getting fatigued right now. They want to see the quick return. They want to see the fast gain. And they're not seeing it. And so they're getting out. They're selling out. That's okay. That's why I suggest you be in this for years. I highly, highly suggest it. If I go to let me go to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's proven itself, right? So let me go to the Bitcoin 5-year, right? So what if somebody got into Bitcoin right here, right? What date is this that I'm on here? This is Yahoo Finance now. Oh, there it is. Okay. July 28th, right? They got in July 28th at 10,000. And all of a sudden it goes down, then it goes down again, then it goes up, and then it goes down again, and then it goes up. It's like, oh, then it goes down again. They got in at $10,000. And now in March, it's down to $5,000. They got it just, and then they get out. They get out. Then this happens, right? That's why you got to be in long term. You can't be in for 3 months. You don't know what the 3 months could look like. This is my face in the way. Let me move my face again. The 3 months could look like this right here. This is what the 3 month looks like. This is what the 3-year looks like, right? That's the difference between long-term and short-term investment. You want to know what's even worse? Being in for a week. This is what a week looks like right here. That's even worse. What the problem is we have people who want to get in right here, and then they want this to happen right after they get in. You know what I mean? So you got to be in for 3 years. You just have to. You can't look at the past precedent of this. Even here, what if you got in here, right? 2018, 2020. This is 2 years right here. This whole distance, right? Even that's too short. You got to be in for 3. You got to be in for 4. That's what I'm telling you. If it's too hard to handle, if this volatility is too hard to handle, just put your money in and shut it off for 3 years or 4 years, and then come back and take a look at it. It'll be a lot different. When will I expect Dogecoin to turn up green? Yeah, I have to be honest. I think that Dogecoin could stay in this sort of trend that it's in. You can see if I go to the 3-month here, this sort of trend, it could stay here for a few months. It could stay here for July, August, September, October. It could stay there for a few months. It could go down to 27, 26, back up to 27, 28, 29, 30. It could go down 24, then it could come up to 31. It could jostle up and down. I don't know when it's going to turn, and nobody knows when the market's going to move back. But it's going to move back. That's why we're long-term investors. And like I said, if it goes down, if it goes to 19 cents, I'm still in at 19 cents. I'm going down with the ship because I've seen this ship too many times. I've seen too many people who have said, oh man, you know, I wish I would have gotten in then. And I wish I would. This is not easy. There's nothing easy about this, you know? So yeah, when is it going to happen? I don't know. Maybe in the fall time. That's a good guess. But it may not necessarily. And for the long term, Good, yeah. Definitely be in for the long term. 100%. That's the only way to do it. And right now, we're at 29 cents and change. 0.2947. All right. That's okay. You know, no problems there. A lot of people, you know, got in at 30 cents. A lot of people got in at 31 cents. Some people got in at 33 cents. 29 is not bad. Look at the 3-month mark, right? Where were we 3 months ago? 3 months ago, it was 5 cents. We forget that. We forget that 3 months ago, Dogecoin was 5 cents. 3 months later, Dogecoin is now 30 cents. That's a huge gain. Unfortunately, we went through these massive pumps in between. So what Dogecoin should have done, and I'm going to move my face again here. Let me move my face up this way. What Dogecoin should have done is probably this. So you can see my marker. It should have did this. See where I'm going? You guys can kind of figure that out, right? You can figure out what I'm doing. This is what Dogecoin probably should have been doing, right? But that's not what immature crypto assets do. What they do is this. But they're really going to the same. Now, if Dogecoin did this, nobody would be freaking out over it. Nobody would be saying a word about it. But that's not what happened. It did this. The question is where does this bottom out? Where does it go? And no one can really know. But if you're sticking with it long term, guess what's going to end up happening? If Dogecoin should have did this, right? Guess what's going to keep going on? In the long term, it's going to keep going. But crypto assets always do it in a volatile sort of a way. All right, let's go back to the 1 day. And I'll move my face back down. I'll move myself over here. All right. Any more questions? Does anyone have any questions or thoughts? Guys, stay strong. Have no fear. Don't be worried about any of this. Have a plan. My plan right now is if it goes to 24 and change, I think I'm buying again. at 24 and change. And when I say I'm buying, guys, it doesn't mean I'm throwing in thousands of dollars, okay? There ain't nobody on this channel is rich. Unless some of you guys are Dogecoin millionaires out there. I have no idea, but nobody's rich here, and neither am I. I'm a teacher, and I live a regular, normal life. So when I say I'm going to invest at 24 cents, it means I might throw a couple $100 in, okay? That's where I'm going to go. But right now, I'm not an investor right now because I already invested at 29 cents. So I'm not investing again. You know, we're not trying to do stupid things. Don't be dumb. If you invested at 29 cents, don't be like, oh, I'm just going to invest again. No. You invested at 29 cents already. Just, wait. If it goes to 24, I might invest again. If it goes to 19, I'll probably invest again. Obviously, I don't want it to go there, but that's my plan because I know the long term. I know where it's going long term. If it goes back up to 30, 31, 32, 33 cents, I'm not an investor anymore. I already put in my investments. Now I'm going to just watch and wait. That's the cool thing. If you can get through this volatile period right here, if you can handle this in a level-headed and mature way, in a couple of years when Dogecoin is like $2 or $3, you'll be able to be like, yep, I have no sweat at all. I did all of my work when it was experiencing some troubles down at 29, 25, 31 cent area. And you won't have to be dealing with it. Then new people are going to be dealing with it at the $2 mark. 2.6 million, and we'll be buying more. Mario, do you really have 2.6 million? 2.6 million Doge? That's awesome, man. If that's the case, congratulations to you. I mean, it's definitely a very cool thing. I'm holding in Binance Exchange. Is it safe holding there? I mean, I'm not that familiar with Binance, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything necessarily bad about it. Binance has been fine. 100, nice. Yeah. So what are we gonna see here? I don't know. I think Doge might go to 30 cents again today. No problem, right? Ethereum's ticking back up. Bitcoin kind of ticking back up. Man, there's another big sell-off here with Bitcoin, and now coming back up. I don't know. Just no fear. Ride it out. Have a plan. That's what I say. Always have a plan. I think I brought up this before. If any person who goes into a new situation, whether it's getting on an airplane or getting on a boat or going anywhere that you're not familiar with, you always have a plan for worst case scenario. You need to have a plan. If it goes down, what's your plan? Is your plan to jump ship at 28 cents? If that's your plan, then do it. That's not my plan. If your plan is to reinvest at 28 cents, then do it. If you don't have a plan, though, you could get hurt. If you just haphazardly just make a decision based off of how you feel at the moment, it's not going to work. It's going to work for the people who have a plan. So, for me, like I said, my plan was to buy back in at 29. I did. My next plan is to buy back in at 24 and change, and I will. And then my next plan is to buy back in at 19 and change, and then probably 17 and change. That's my plan. Now, once it goes lower than 17, if it goes lower than 17, then I'm probably not an investor anymore. I'm just going to clench my teeth and wait and just hope that things really correct themselves. I don't see this happening, though. Like, just because I'm saying this, don't think this is going to happen, okay? It's just my plan, worst case scenario. Because if I don't have this plan, worst case scenario, then I get myself into trouble. You need to have that plan too. My plan, best case scenario, is just to watch this thing rise to the moon. That's my plan. That's the easy plan. That's easy street. But most times, easy street just doesn't happen. And the people who end up getting hurt are the people who don't have a plan. They just invest in what they probably shouldn't, and then they jump out when they probably shouldn't. They put in $5,000 and they just did it, and then now they're seeing it go down, and then they just took out their $3,400 because they were like, can't do this anymore. That's a planless investment. that ultimately will, can get you hurt. So definitely plan it out. Stop telling unexperienced people to buy Doge. What's wrong with you? Bitcoin, Ethereum. All right. So here's the thing with Doge, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not Dogecoin, and Ethereum is not Dogecoin either. If you want to invest in the most matured and proven crypto asset, then the one that you're going to invest in is Bitcoin. Bitcoin has proven itself. Bitcoin has been around the longest time. It's matured. It's limited in how many coins they can do. So if you don't want as much volatility and you want a little bit more security, then Bitcoin is going to be the way you want to go. If you want sort of the middle ground, Ethereum is definitely the up-and-comer. There's no doubt about it. Its smart contracts are amazing. Smart contracts basically get rid of the middlemen. They're Ethereum 2 to 4,000 transactions per second. Ethereum is going to be your best bet if you want to get the one that's kind of up on the rise. If you want the greatest potential, Dogecoin is your best bet. Dogecoin has the best potential. And the reason why Dogecoin has the best potential is because Dogecoin doesn't have a lot of the fixes in it that Ethereum and Bitcoin have. Ethereum and Bitcoin have done a lot of back-end work over the last couple of years that Dogecoin has not yet done. The problem for Mr. Abraham here is that Dogecoin is actively working on those things right now. There are updates and upgrades coming for Dogecoin. So in a similar updates and upgrades that Bitcoin and Ethereum have already had. Dogecoin is going to have transaction fees that are less than 1 penny. Dogecoin is going to be able to do 4,000 transactions per second. Dogecoin is going to be able to handle large transactions all at the same time. Dogecoin is working on implementing those smart contracts through the blockchain and through the nodes communicating with each other. Dogecoin has developers and multiple developers who are actively working together to put out this update. So when Mr. Abraham says that it's a bad investment, it's not a bad investment. It's a more volatile investment, but it's an investment with a lot more potential because it's not proven itself yet. It will, though, prove itself. It will. The upgrades will come. So it's not entirely true what he's saying. It's just it's a blanket statement without any data or information backing it up. If Mr. Abraham there wants to say that Bitcoin is the safer, less volatile, more proven and matured crypto asset bet, then he'd be correct. If he wants to say that Ethereum is the up-and-comer, could possibly rise to the Bitcoin levels, has the best smart contracts, he'd be right. If he wants to say Dogecoin, the most volatile but the greatest potential, and new upgrades are coming up which could push it into that top tier list, he'd be correct. But is it the most volatile right now? Sure it is. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I like the potential. I like what I see happening with the developers. So there's 3 main developers. I might even have the list. I don't have the list. Yeah, there's 3 main developers that are working on it together right now for 2 years. So there's a link to a web page. If you want to go to the web page, you can go there. It's a video I released yesterday. You can see what the developers are working on. I mean, I guess I could do it now if I click around my YouTube channel here. Who are these developers? You're saying it like you don't know that there's actual developers doing this. Here, I'm going to move my face way off to the side here and way down, just so you can see. Okay. So Nicole right here, right? Opened by our Nicole. Nicole is the main developer of this, and you can see that he's opening up a lot of these, right? So this is for the next major update, 1.21. And these are the different things that they're fixing, right? So they added a node context to wallet RPC request object. They also got rid of Bitcoin notifications. They redid the script. See, this is one of the reviews in progress. 1.21 handle very large transaction outputs. So Nicole is one of the major developer leads right now. There's another guy. Oh, here we go. Patrick Loader. Patrick Loader is another lead developer. So if you can see where my mouse is, Mr. Abraham, right here, he's another lead developer. So these two guys are lead developers, and there's actually another lead developer. F. Doving, I don't know who that is, but he's another developer, obviously. M. McHale, I'm not sure who M. McHale is, but he's another developer. So I don't see the other developer's name, but there is another guy who's a main developer here. And these are the projects that they've finished. These are the reviews in progress. These are the ones in progress, and these are the ones in to-do lists. Okay? So, let me go back to your question. Who are these developers? It's like you don't even realize that they're actually doing this. But they are. So when you say that Dogecoin is a bad investment, because what's happened is you've heard the talking points for too long. People, oh, it's a joke meme that doesn't have any value. It doesn't have any. But wait a second. Are they currently developing this into an absolutely serious and legitimate crypto asset? The answer is yes. Yes, they are. Did Bitcoin and Ethereum already do that in the last couple of years? Yes, they did. Is Dogecoin running on populism right now, or populist movement? It is. Now, if there was no major development coming in the future for Dogecoin, if the developers of Dogecoin straight up said, we're not doing anything with Dogecoin, like, listen, we're just going to let it run the way it's running. And if they were doing that, I would not even tell you to invest in this at all. Because basically now you're investing on a hope and a dream. But you're not. You're not investing on a hope and a dream. You're investing on something that has the people behind it, something that the developers are actively improving, and in an arena that I believe is the future of crypto assets. So if you want the potential, go with Doge. If you want the proven, go with Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin has as much up movement as Doge does. I'm not saying Doge is ever going to become $35,000 per coin. I'm not stupid. But can Doge be $5 or $6? Can it be $8 or $10? Sure. Sure it could. Not without improvements it couldn't. It needs to have improvements. But those improvements are coming. These developers never had a successful project. The main developer of Dogecoin, the guy who created it, created Adobe. How do you know that they don't have any successful projects? Did you just make that statement up? I mean, literally, the guy who created Dogecoin was the back-end creator of Adobe. Is Adobe not successful enough? You can't just make a statement and just throw it out there and not know what you're talking about. Anyways, why buy Doge at 29 cents when you could buy a real paid product for 10 cents vet? Yeah, see, that's the problem. The problem is you have so many other crypto assets that are coming out. You end up having like 25,000 of them, and then people just start pushing whatever they want to push. You'll start getting bots that'll start pushing them. You'll start getting Twitter feeds that'll start pushing them. And then all of a sudden you get a new one, and then somebody says, well, this one's proven. And then somebody sees that without the actual back end knowledge of it. And then they push that one. And it delegitimizes the entire arena. Thought Dogecoin was a meme. Dogecoin started essentially as a joke or a meme of Bitcoin. The creator, who was a back-end creator of Adobe a long time ago, decided, you know what? It could have been 2013. I don't even remember the year. You know what, Bitcoin, I could do this. I know how to code. So he coded it. He created it. It basically did start off as a joke and a meme. The problem is it's no longer a joke. Is it still a meme? It's still a meme. The Doge meme is funny. But it's no longer a joke. It actually has a legitimate and hardcore base behind it. And it has functionality too. I mean, you can use Dogecoin practically. Is it fully matured? No. Does it need upgrades? Yes. Does it need developers working hard? Yes. Are they making those upgrades? Yes, they are. So when you're putting your bet on Doge, you're not putting your bet in something like these guys who are saying this in the chat. They pretend like there's no actual work going on. Like they're not actually upgrading Doge. Like there's no developers working on it right now. They listen to people who come out with talking points that tell them that it's just a joke, it doesn't work, there's nothing there. And then they take those talking points and then they keep spitting them out like they're true. Just like the talking point, like people will tell you that Dogecoin doesn't have any limit. There's no limit to the amount of Dogecoin that can be produced. They'll say that to you as well. And then they'll tell you, see, Dogecoin's never going to be something because there's no limit. It's simply not true. There's a limit of 5 billion Doge per year. You can't produce more. 5 billion is your limit. 5 billion is not a lot. How much money does the United States print off every year? 5 trillion? So when you're talking about 5 billion versus 5 trillion, you're not talking about something that's, worrisome when it comes to inflation. Doge has no problem printing or producing 5 billion coins per year. Is it going to be Bitcoin? No. Bitcoin is digital gold. You can't produce any more of it. Just like we can't make any more gold. It doesn't matter how much of a good alchemist you are. You're not going to make more gold. We only have as much gold as is on planet Earth, unless we find an asteroid out there that has gold, that's made of gold, and we can stop it. By the way, if we ever find an asteroid out there that's made of gold and we can mine it, the value of gold is going to depreciate incredibly. But so far, we can't do that. So the only gold we have is limited. The only Bitcoin we have is limited. It's digital gold, but it's not set up like a digital currency to be traded easily amongst people. It's essentially like, who gets the gold? The rich people get the gold. Who gets the Bitcoin? The rich people get the Bitcoin. Dogecoin is much more set up to be as a practical, everyday trading currency, digital currency. Even with the low, I'm still up $3,000. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it makes it easier if you got in a lot earlier. Some of the people who are struggling right now, they got in later. And they went, they invested in the hype, without really thinking through their plan. I noticed that the comments have quickly stopped with hating on Dogecoin. There's probably some Googling going on right now too. Like, what are the talking points to pull down to go against somebody who knows stuff about Dogecoin? The problem is I'll admit it. I'll admit Dogecoin is probably the most volatile of the three. It's not the most volatile of all of them. There's so many coins out there that are just straight up don't even get involved in them. But out of the top tier, is it the most volatile? Sure. Is it more volatile than Cardano? Yeah. Is it more volatile than Polygon? Yeah. Which is Matic? Sure. Is it more volatile than Bitcoin? Yes. But the potential is amazing. It's amazing. And the back end work is pretty awesome. Right now, we're in a bear market. Let's invest in Bitcoin. Oh, look, let's look at Doge, right? Here's Doge's performance today, right? Let's look at like precious Bitcoin. Oh, look at Bitcoin. Not doing that great today. Well, if I invested in Bitcoin, I'd have the same result today. The same result. What is Dogecoin down? 4.784. What is Bitcoin down? 4.999. So you see, like, well, why don't you invest in Bitcoin? It's a way better bet. The whole market's down. What is Ethereum down today? 5.6627%. This is not a Dogecoin problem. What you're seeing today is not a Dogecoin problem. It's a crypto asset problem. It's a crypto market problem. There's people, they're worried about this market. There's instability. There's legitimacy questions. There's questions of how governments are going to handle this. We're in a bearish trend right now. There's been a populist movement in the last 3 months where many people invested in this who probably shouldn't have. And that's what we're experiencing right now. If you're a long-term investor, you're going to be fine. If you're a 3, 4, 5-year investor in Dogecoin, you're going to be fine. If you're a 3, 4, 5-year investor in Ethereum, you're going to be fine. If you're a 3 or 4 or 5-year investor in Bitcoin, you're going to be fine. if you go by the daily movements of this thing, you're going to jump ship. And that's fine. You can jump ship. It's not a problem. But I tell you, 4 years from now, you're going to talk to some people in your family. You're going to go, I was in it back when it was 29 cents. And then they're going to say, well, what happened? And you're going to say, I don't know. It just sold it. I couldn't do it. That's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do. Now, I'm not telling you to take out a loan, right? You see this news article here that I shared earlier on? I don't know if anyone was with me when I shared it. Dogecoin co-creator warns taking out loans to buy volatile speculative assets is absolutely bonkers. It is. Don't take out a loan. Don't take out a loan to do this. Some people, that's part of the problem we're seeing. People are selling off because they invested something they shouldn't have invested. When you put money into a 401k, when are you going to take that money out? I'm not. I'm going to keep it in there for 20, 30 years. Oh, when you invest in a Roth, when are you taking that out? I'm not. When you invest in Dogecoin, when are you taking that out? The problem is we have people investing with loans, people investing with on margin, people investing with credit, and then they're seeing it go down and they're pulling the plug because they want to cut their losses. That combined with a bearish market and you get this sort of volatility. But guess what's going to happen? That's going to end. The hype is going to end. The populist movement's going to end. The stability is going to hit. The bearish market's going to change. But you will not be a part of that if you're not in for years. If you're not in for 3 or 4 years, you cannot be a part of it. Yeah, 1 to 3 with no selling. I would agree. I mean, and for me, I'd say 3. Even 1 year is tough. Even 1 year is might be a little too short because if we go to, because Bitcoin's the most proven, right? If you go to Bitcoin's 5-year mark, right? Look at this movement here. This is from February 2018 to September 2020. This is 2 years right here of Bitcoin. If you were an investor here and then you sold here, you know, not great. But if you stuck after the 2-year mark, then you're good. So I would say I would go minimum 3 years. Minimum 3-year it. And you should be fine. But know what you're investing in. You know what to expect as you're investing. All right. So what's Doge at? Doge is at 0.29 cents. All right. Not bad. You know, it was at like 30.5 yesterday. So it's down a penny and a half right now from yesterday. Not great. Not what we want to see. The whole market's down. Actually, Doge is outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum again today. This is Bitcoin's chart. This is Ethereum's chart. This is Doge. It's, you know, it fell the quickest and then it climbed back up. It's the volatility is greater with Doge, but it's still outperforming them. So we need the whole market to switch. But we'll, you know, we're staying strong here. We have no fear with this. We know how we're investing, and we know we have a plan for our investment. If Doge goes down to 28 or 27 cents, I'm not worried. If it goes down to 26 cents or 25 cents, I'm not worried. If it goes down to 24 cents and change, I'm buying. Maybe $200 or $300 worth. If it goes down to 23 or 22 cents, I'm not worried. If it goes down to 20 or 21 cents, I'm not worried. If it goes down to 19 and change, I'm buying. If it goes down to 18, if it goes down to 17 cents, I'm buying. And then at that point, if it goes to 17 cents, I probably stop my YouTube channel. I shut off my app, my investment app, and I don't look at it for another 3 to 4 years. And then I open it up in 3 to 4 years and let the cards fall where they may. That's what I'm going to do. That's my plan. I think in the long term, the plan works. That's my investment plan. I don't think we're going down to 17 cents, though. It's not going to happen. But you have to have a worst case scenario plan. Now, if it goes down to 26 cents and it never hits 24 and I don't get to reinvest and it just keeps going back up at that point, then fine. then that's what happened. No problem. But if you don't have the long-term investment plan, that could also get you. Higher risk, higher reward. It is true, higher risk, higher reward. You also want to make sure that your risk is a good risk, and that's why we look at these. We look at the upgrades that Doge is doing, right? So yes, this is a risk, but we have back-end developers who are working on this, right? So yes, it is a higher risk for sure, but it's a higher risk that does have people that are doing some good work with it, which kind of calms down the naysayers a little bit. Just bought Dogecoin worth, oh, nice. Going for it, yeah. Love the live chats. Thank you. Appreciate it. I figured, I'm not going to shut down the channel. There's no way. Going on today is tough. It's tough. Do I want to go on when Dogecoin is down 5%? No, I don't. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not worried at all. I have a reinvestment plan, but I know that there might be some people out there who are worried about this, who looking at it and they're just like, what is happening? And they're getting concerned. And I'm going to go on because I want people to know, where I'm at, where I'm standing, and what my investment plan is. And again, you need to come up with your own plan. You never invest with loans, never invest on margin, never put more in it than if you lost it all tomorrow, you'd still be okay. You'd still be fine. That's what you always want to do, and have a plan. And, it'll work out. If you need to step away from it for a few days, step away from it for a few days. So imagine you were seeing it go down. You're like, I just got to get away from this right now. And imagine it comes like back up to this area, and then you look back at it a few hours later. It's, it can be helpful to step away sometimes. Just risk $1,700. Well, you know what? It's a better bet than putting it on black on the roulette wheel. You know what I mean? Is it going to take longer? The reason why people put $1,700 on black is because they want that quick return. They want that $3,400. They want that $1,700 increase, and they want it now. The problem with investing in stocks or crypto assets that way is you get yourself into trouble. These are not short-term gains. The people who do that are short sellers. They're day traders. It's not a smart idea for the average person. The average person is going to get their shirt handed to them if they do that. The average person should treat stocks and crypto assets in the opposite way that you treat gambling. The way gambling is treated is as a quick gain, a quick return. Because in the long term, if you guys look at gambling studies, in the long term, the house always wins in the long term. So if you want to be a good gambler, you either need to play poker and get really good at it, or you need to quit when you're ahead. Because in the long term, you lose. So gambling, if you strike lucky, end immediately. Investment in stocks and crypto assets is actually completely different. In the short term, you can get your shirt handed to you. You got to be careful. But in the long term, if you're investing in something that when you research it and you look at it and you look at the future of the world, the economy, what's happening behind the scenes, and you go, you know what, this is going to be fine in the long term. You invest long term. You don't invest short term, or else you're gonna. In the long term, people win in stocks. In the long term, unless you invest in a company that goes bankrupt, but hopefully you don't. Doge will be 5 times from this point before Bitcoin, Ethereum. Well, maybe. Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to go up too, and we want Bitcoin to go up. We want Bitcoin to do well. Because if Bitcoin doesn't do well, then it'll drag Doge down with it. Like my assumption now, I haven't looked at Ethereum or Bitcoin in the last 10 minutes, but my assumption is that Bitcoin is continuing to go down because Doge wants to go up, but it keeps going back down, which makes me think that Bitcoin is continuing its downtrend and it's kind of pulling it down. So I could be wrong. I'm going to click back on it. And yeah, Bitcoin's doing the same thing. It's continuing the downtrend. And I'm assuming Ethereum's doing the same thing. Yes, Ethereum is doing the same thing. It seems like Doge wants to go back up, but there's only so much that Doge can do if Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto asset market isn't healthy. If it's not healthy, if it's bearish, there's only so much Doge can do. It's not an entity unto itself. So we want Bitcoin and Ethereum to do well. We want crypto asset market to do well. But with all the good news that's going to be coming out with Doge, the hope is that the returns will be much greater. So as the crypto asset market gets healthy again, the returns on Doge will be much better than the returns on Bitcoin or Ethereum. Even if you lose money, you're okay. Yeah, no, you'll be fine. In the long term, you'll be fine. In the short term, if you're a short-term bettor, you sell at 24 cents and then you lose your money. Or you get to 24 cents and you reinvest. See, when I invest in my Dogecoin, I don't look necessarily at the amount of money that I've invested or the amount of money that I have. I look at the amount of Doge that I have. That's what I look at. So when I invest at 24 cents, I don't look at it like I want my investment to go up. I mean, I do. I look at it like how much more Doge am I getting? That's the way that I invest into Doge. So right now I have a certain amount of Doge. When I reinvested at 29 cents, I had now more Doge. But as Doge has now gone down to 28 cents, the value of it's gone down. But I'm not worried about that because I'm not a short-term investor. Do I think crypto is going to crash? I think that the lowest crypto can go is, I think Bitcoin, if Bitcoin went to its lowest level, it could possibly hit 15,000. Cryptocurrencies are not going away. They're not leaving forever. No, they're not going to crash to like bankruptcy level. Could Bitcoin go to 15,000? It's possible. Can it go lower than 15,000? Probably not. It would be. By the way, it's going to be very difficult for it to go to 15,000 if it did. But I'd be lying to you if I sat here and told you, nope, it can't. Bitcoin can never. It's not going to fall below 30,000. It could hit $15,000. It sure could. I mean, if I look at the 5-year chart for Bitcoin, right? When Bitcoin was $19,000 in 2017. Do you think anyone would have said that Bitcoin could eventually hit $3,000 when it was 19,000? No. That's 7 times loss there, right? 7 times over. No one would have said that, right? But it could. So with Bitcoin being a few months ago at 60,000, could Bitcoin go to 15? Sure. Why not? We've seen it before. Will it stay at 15? No. Is it going to eventually go way back above 60,000? Yeah. So if you want to ask me worst case scenario crash is Bitcoin hits 15,000 and Dogecoin hits 17 cents. That's worst case scenario. That's not, oh my gosh, Vin is telling me that Dogecoin's going to hit 17 cents. That's not what I'm telling you. Don't sell right now thinking it's going to hit 17 cents. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying worst case scenario, Doge can go to 17 cents. Bitcoin can go to 15,000. The way that I come up with that is based off of past precedent, looking at multipliers from the past, seeing what we saw as worst case scenarios from past precedent. That's how I come up with that. So is it like I have some sort of a computer program that's telling me? No, I'm just looking at the past. That's what I'm prepared for. I'm prepared for the worst case scenario. I'm hoping for the best. I'm prepared for the worst. Therefore, I reinvest at 24 cents and change. I reinvest at 19 cents and change, and I reinvest at 17 cents anything. And then I stop investing and I wait. That's my worst case scenario plan. And I wait for 4 years. I will turn, I'm only, 36 years old right now. I'll wait until I'm 42. I'll live my life like normal. I'll be a teacher. I'll be a husband. I'll be a father. And I'll live my life like normal. And then when I'm 42 years old, I'll take a look. That's what I'm going to do. And I believe, based off of past precedent, that this will be extraordinarily higher. I'm not going to do it based off of months. I'm not going to do it based off of 2 or 3 months or 4 months. It's just not. It's not a good bet. So I have a plan for the worst, but I'm hoping for the best is what it really is. And so cut it. I basically I kind of share with you where I think it could possibly crash to if it did, but I don't hope it won't. I don't think it will. Do I think it's a joke? No. If at this point you think Dogecoin's a joke, oh yeah, Dogecoin's definitely not a joke. Did it start off as it like the thing with if you're a Dogecoin investor, the best way to combat people who come up against you is to be realistic. Did Dogecoin start off as a joke? Yeah, technically it did. If you ask the person who created it, he would admit it. He would say, you know what? Bitcoin was this digital currency that you could mine by completing complex mathematical formulas with a CPU. And I was like, wait, if you want to do that, I can do one too. I'm going to call it Dogecoin, off of the stupid dog meme, right? So did it technically start as a joke? It did. Is it a joke anymore? No, it's not. Dogecoin is becoming more legitimate every single day. And not only that, but the creators and the co-creators of Dogecoin realize it's not a joke either. And that's why they're updating it. That's why they have this next major update coming. That's why these guys are working across the hours making these upgrades, because they realize it's not a joke anymore. And there are people behind this. And this is being used as digital currency. So the best way to combat it is by being realistic. What are the things that determine whether the price is going up or down? There's only a few things that determine that. News is one of them. So either you have good news or you have bad news. One thing that we've seen with Dogecoin is this sort of populist movement. So people getting behind it. Also, you have these markets. You just do. A lot of people don't like to treat crypto assets like stocks, but they have bearish times and they have bullish times. Right now, we're in a down market. We're in a bearish trend right now. There's no escaping that. This is not the best time for crypto assets. So we have a lot of people investing who invested in, they didn't know. The people who invested in Doge, right, as Doge was going up, they didn't know that, just so you know, once the beginning of May hits, crypto assets are going to fall into a bearish trend. Oops, you invested in it, but you didn't realize that crypto assets were going to go bearish at this point. And you can see that based off of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin went to May and it was fine. And now it's in this bearish trend. Bitcoin's not going down because of Dogecoin. Bitcoin's going down because it's a bearish market. The other thing that will affect the price is whether you have mature investors or immature investors, what you call your paper hands or your diamond, the people who hold. Dogecoin's a little bit more volatile because there's a lot of new investors. There's a lot of paper hands. Yes, have a wonderful day. Yep. The journey is kind of fun, and it is you will definitely you'll be occupied for sure along this journey. It's kind of interesting. If anything, at least it's entertaining to some degree. What's your opinion of Shiba Inu? Yeah, Shiba. I have to tell you, I'm really not a fan of Shiba. I know that there's a lot of people who are. I feel like I get it, the meme coins, but there's so many meme coins now. It's gotten to the point where I kind of think it's just stupid. There's look them up. There's coins that are called Doge Killer, Doge Musk, Doge Elon Musk, Shib Musk, Shib Elon. There's just so many of them. They looked at Dogecoin and they're like, we're just going to copy Dogecoin now. Dogecoin wanted to be a joke of Bitcoin. Now we're going to be a joke of Dogecoin. I get it. I'm an investor in Dogecoin, so of course I get it. But at some point, it's like, all right, I got it. We can stop making these coins. To me, Shiba was one of the first that were doing that, but it's still just a copycat of Doge. So if I'm a real investor, I don't look at Shiba and Dogecoin both being top tier at the same time. Why would Dogecoin and a Dogecoin copycat both be in 5 years top tier crypto assets at the same time? It doesn't make sense. Either people are going to get behind Dogecoin or they're going to get behind Shiba. If they think that the back end of Shiba coin is better than Doge, then Shiba is going to win out. But I don't think that's the case. I actually think that the upgrades that Dogecoin is going to be making and the developers behind Dogecoin are going to absolutely crush the back end development of Shiba. So it would be hard for me to invest in both. Shiba to me is more of a speculative investment. I know Doge could be to a case as well, but both of them aren't going to survive. Why would they? That'd be like if you had Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and then a knockoff of Nintendo. So wait a second. You have a Nintendo, an Xbox, a PlayStation, and a knockoff of Nintendo? Either the knockoff is going to be better than the original, or the original is going to win out. How in 5 years are they both going to win out? So for me, Shiba is not the investment for me. Do I think that it could in short term go up? Sure. But how many Shiba coins are in existence, by the way? 37 trillion? People have problems with Dogecoin producing 5 billion per year. I think there's 37.5 trillion Shiba coins. How high can Shiba really go? I don't know. Crypto is crashing now because they don't want. Yeah, you know, a lot of people do not like the fact, like, when you talk about investors, you have your old time investors. You know, like your investors like back in the day. The back in the day investors would invest in these brick and mortars, these high end place, banks, and there used to be a way to do it. Everything's changed. It's all changed now. The whole financial system is changing, and they don't like it. This is very strange to them, and something that is so what are they doing? They're going to fight against this. They're absolutely 100% going to fight against this. And so I think you do have a world that isn't helping here. Matter of fact, you just had El Salvador adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender, and the World Bank won't even help them. They won't even help them use this, and it's an asset that is much less volatile than their own currency, which is like, compared to the dollar, I think it's like 1/8 the value of the dollar. They've switched completely to the dollar at this point, but they had to. But even the volatility of the dollar within their own country, so the Bitcoin can actually be a stabilizing factor to a country like El Salvador. Bitcoin can be a stabilizing factor to many third world countries out there. So for a World Bank or a world financial organization to not help them implement a much more stable asset tells you that there is an agenda to not go this direction, because there are people who are heavily invested in things that are not this direction. It's like investing in renewable energies, right? Whether or not you like renewable energies or not, right? But you have people who are heavily invested in companies that if renewable energies do good, it's not good for them. And so whether or not there's hope or a future in them, they're gonna trash chalk it all day long. So in my opinion, you can fight against it as long as you want, but eventually you're going to lose. And I actually think that's the way Elon Musk puts it, because Elon Musk, obviously, he's much more into the solar and solar power stuff. And I mean, I get it, to create these vehicles, these electric vehicles, it takes a lot of energy. I understand that. And it's not perfect. There's no doubt about it. But is fossil fuels the future of energy? No. It's just not. Do we need them now? Yes. Do we need them 10 years from now? Yes. Do we need them 25 years from now? We do. But if you want to fight against renewable energies, you're fighting a losing battle, because in 100 or 200 or 300 years from now, if the earth continues that long, right? You know, you're going to need renewable energies. You're just going to. So you can fight against it as long as you want, but you're fighting a losing battle. I see crypto assets the same way. The financial systems can fight against this as long as they want, but they're going to fight a losing battle, because at the end of the day, there's far too much inflation with the currencies of the country of Earth, and there needs to be a much more streamlined system put into place. And so, these people are doing it, and they can fight against it, and they can draw it down, and they can do all this stuff. But in the end, it's not going to end up working. They're going to end up losing out in the long run. There is too many other meme coins. There's way too many. There's like 10,000 of them now. It's gotten dumb. And I think some of the crypto analysts out there should start admitting it, because I haven't seen many out there. I follow a few. Oh, I don't really follow a lot of guys, but because I do crypto in my YouTube feed, these guys come up every once in a while, and I'll listen to them. And I don't see anybody out there telling everyone, like, guys, listen, like, in all honesty, we kind of need to stop it with these meme coins. I mean, I get it. We got it, but now it's making the whole arena look dumb and not legitimate. Instead, a lot of them are just like, yeah, man, whatever, whatever you want. Everybody can be. No, you can't. You can't. If you want it to be legitimate, you can't. If you want any arena to be legitimate, you can't. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. You could be talking about car companies. I know that currencies aren't companies. I get that. But you can't have 25,000 different car companies. It's not going to work. It's not going to be legitimate. And if you do, you're going to end up having car companies that are producing like just absolute garbage. And it's going to confuse everybody. That's what's happening right now. We're having so many of these crypto coins come on the scene that it's confusing. And people don't know what to invest in. And you have these bots that are pushing them, and people, just scamming people. It's not good for the community. You really need to let the cream rise to the top. Let the top tier, tertiary or secondary and tertiary take their spots and move forward. This 20,000, 30,000 different coins that are out there is absolutely crazy. And it shouldn't be. All right. So anyway, right now Doge is sitting pretty steady at 29 cents. It's, it came up, and since it's fallen down, which makes me think that Ethereum and Bitcoin are still both down and not coming back up, which is absolutely the case. And so Bitcoin down 4.1%, Ethereum down 4.7%, Doge is now down 5%. So, unfortunately, we're in a down day. We're in a down day, but we're long-term investors. We do not have the fear as it goes down. There's no problem. We have reinvestment plans for the future. You should have a reinvestment plan as well. And then you should be a long-term holder. If you believe in this market, what's going on to Doge right now is not a Doge problem. It's a crypto market problem. Okay. If I clicked on Ethereum and Ethereum was up 5% today, and I clicked on Bitcoin and Bitcoin was up 6.3% today, and I clicked on Doge and it was down 5%, we'd have a Doge problem. But that is not what we have right now. So if you're going to jump out of Doge, then you might as well not invest in any crypto assets. You might as well jump out of everything at this point and then just move on to something different. But if you believe that the crypto market will eventually correct itself and begin to move in a different direction, then you got to stay long term. All right. So possibly a few more months of this, possibly. It could be a couple more years of this. But if you're a 3-year investor, you're going to beat that out in the long term. And if you're an investor at certain points as it goes down, you're going to do absolutely fine. But why not both go up? Both go up. Like Shiba and Dogecoin both go up at the same time. They could, but there's only so many of the similar products that you can have. People just normally, the way people work is they get behind one or they get behind the other, and usually they get behind the one that they think is the best. And so I don't know what is better. I know a lot of these coins are having these niche markets that they're doing. Like if you invest in this coin, it's going to help clean up the oceans. If you invest in this coin, we're going to help get rid of ozone pollutants. There's these coins that do certain things, and that's nice and everything. But if you have 25,000 of them, how can people on planet Earth distinguish between them? How can they trade all of them? It's not going to work. You really need a digital currency that's digital gold, and you need a digital currency that's digital currency. That's what you really need. If you have any much more than that, it's not going to work. The question is which one is going to become the digital gold and which one's going to become the digital currency? In 5 years from now, when you go to Amazon, what do you think Amazon's going to let you trade in? Do you think they're going to let you trade in Dogecoin and Bitcoin and Shiba and Cardano? And how many do you think that they're going to have on there? You think they're going to have 10 or 15 or 25 digital currencies? I don't think so. If I had to take a guess, I think it's going to be Bitcoin and Dogecoin. If I had to take a guess, I think companies are going to allow you to trade in Bitcoin or Doge. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my guess. And then I think a lot of these other companies are going to do their own thing. Like Ethereum is like super great with the smart contracts. I mean, Ethereum might end up finding a different arena at which it succeeds in, which it is doing right now. And then you're going to have these supporting companies, these blockchain companies that they're going to have supports for these other. And I use company, it's obviously not a company. We know it's not a company. We know it's a digital asset. It's a digital coin, but you can consider them like that because there's back-end developers that support them. So you might have you might have one of these, like say it's like a Toyota, right? But Toyota relies on other people out there to be Toyota, right? Honda relies on other companies to be Honda. Honda isn't Honda in and of itself. And Dogecoin isn't going to be Dogecoin in and of itself either. It's going to have to rely on other people in order to be successful. But at the end of the day, I don't see 10 or 15 digital assets out there being traded in the real world. I don't see it. I see Bitcoin and Dogecoin. That's what I see. Maybe I'm wrong. In 5 years, we'll have to see. But so far, that's what we've been seeing. Dogecoin is accepted by MLB, right? MLB teams accept Dogecoin now. There's a hockey team that accepts, I think it's the Sharks, accepts Dogecoin. There's NBA teams that accept Dogecoin. There's small businesses that accept Dogecoin. We know that Bitcoin is accepted by certain companies. We know that Bitcoin is now being accepted by countries. Is Shiba going to then be accepted by? I don't know. I don't see it. I could be wrong though. So that's why, both of them working doesn't make sense to me. Told my mom that there would be 3 to 6 cryptocurrencies and there will be after the shakeout. Do you think Ethereum will merge? I think Ethereum will stay Ethereum, and I think Ethereum will end up being. I think Ethereum will do its own thing. That there's a lot of different people who like using Ethereum. Like for example, is Ethereum going to become the digital asset that's traded by the normal person? I don't think so. I don't think your average, Joe and Susie are going to be using Ethereum. I think Ethereum might be your digital currency that you might have banks using, financial institutions, possibly governments, international companies will probably use Ethereum. Will they use Doge? Probably not. Who's going to use Doge? Probably your average person is going to use Doge. So I think Ethereum is going to continue to do its own thing. I think Bitcoin is going to continue to do its own thing. And I think Doge is going to continue to do its own thing. But can there be 15 of them? I don't think so. There can only be a few. And that's one of the problems we're having right now is nobody knows what this market's all about. It's become confusing to people and it's become saturated. And there's been legitimacy questions, transparency issues, security problems, scam issues. And so if you really want this to do well, then I think people are going to have to start recognizing that and start calling it out and saying, okay, guys, like we get it, but enough is enough with this. We need to regulate this a little bit more. That's why like Coinbase accepting Shiba, I would like, I know that some people are out there and they're like, oh, this is great, guys. This is awesome. I actually don't think so. Shiba is 0.000007, right? I'd almost rather Coinbase not accept Doge than to start just accepting anything. By doing that, you delegitimize the entire arena. If you accept Shiba, why not accept 100 other things? You know? The same thing with Robinhood, right? Robinhood, there's only like 6 crypto assets that you can trade on Robinhood. Robinhood should not allow 20, 25, 30, 40 of them to be traded. They shouldn't do it because it delegitimizes everything. It makes it confusing. Now, Doge, should Doge have ever gotten to the point that it's gotten at right now? Probably not, but it did. And the people are behind Doge. And Doge has now proven itself as a practical crypto asset. And so it happened. Sometimes it happens like this in the world. You have something that you think would never be there, and it is. So now it is. And the developers are working on it. All right, so let's go. Doge is in. Bitcoin's in. Ethereum's in. But there's only so many that you can do. There's only so many that you can have. Doge. Okay, 0.2894, so just below 0.29 cents, you know, skyrocketed up, came back down again, just because the entire market's down. Yep, you could see Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, all doing the same thing. It's a market deal. It's a market issue. This will correct itself. Just have a plan. Have a plan for reinvestment. Have a plan, a long-term plan, and you'll be fine. All right. I got some more work I got to do. I got to go upstairs and do some work in the house. You guys are awesome. Thank you for coming along with me. If anything happens, if it keeps going down, I might live stream again, just to keep everyone, you know, just to make sure that nobody's worried about anything or fearful of anything. You really shouldn't be. And in the long term, you're going to be good. Be a long-term investor. Be a smart investor. Don't invest with loans. Don't invest with margin. Don't put anything in that if you lost it, it would affect your life. Nothing like that. If that means only $10 for you, then $10. Okay. If that means $100, then $100. But nothing that if you invested it, it would be horrible for you. You cannot have that be the case. And then you invest long-term with reinvestment plans, and you stick with a good community that will encourage you along the way. In 3 to 4 years, it'll be a different story. Do we want it to be sooner than that? Sure, we do. We really do. Do I want this to really start moving up in September and October? Absolutely. Well, we'll wait. We'll see. We'll hope for that. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. All right, so Dogecoin sitting steady at 29 cents right now. Hopefully we've seen the worst on the day, but if we haven't, we're prepared for it. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. I will catch you guys as always. I'll catch you next time. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream at this point.